Well, with that, we are right about ready to have DJ Phatzo begin their run of Backyard Wrestling 2. There goes the neighborhood. Let's give it away to DJ Phatzo and their commentator, Kevin Gill.
I think we're live. We live? We're live. What's going on, everybody?
Yeah.
My name is DJ Phatzo. I am the longest reigning Backyard Wrestling 2 undisputed world champion of 5 years going. And today, we set a Speedromizer first. We have the first developer of a game at a Speedromizer. And it is the one, the only, KG Kevin Gill.
What up, though, DJ Phatzo? What up to the speed running community? It's an honor to be thought of and be invited and to help make history at an event like this and to do it for such a great cause like the Trevor Project and get to relive and be forced to remember some of the many memories from Backyard Wrestling, which I'll share with you here. I spent many years in the video game industry. I always worked in marketing, but in doing that, I got to create this game. It was my original concept and etc. But by trade, I am a professional wrestling commentator. You can hear me in the past in a million places. I currently work for Circle 6, which is an incredible product. The new Series 7 is about to debut in the next few weeks. And Outlaw Wrestling right here in Queens every week at the Queens Brewery. So I'm holding it down on all social media, and I'm honored to be here with you, DJ Phatzo.
All right, so since the last file we have was from Speedy Fist all the way back in 2021, I think the only appropriate name is Speedromizer.
Yes. And for those listening too, like I wasn't, I had no idea that Backyard Wrestling was part of the speedrunning scene. I was barely aware peripherally. Like I knew of things, Donkey Kong, of course, King of Kong, and Pac-Man competitions and things of that nature for these iconic, industry-defining entertainment. Oh, check me out.
All right, so I think we're ready to go. We ready on time? I'm just gonna assume we're ready on time. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
The goal to play through the entire game as fast as possible. And you're not dealing with some ham and egger nor some jabroni. This is the king of backyard wrestling speedrunning, DJ Phatzo, demonstrating his skills today to benefit the Trevor Project and to celebrate the longevity of groundbreaking wrestling games like backyard wrestling.
Absolutely. So this game went through a bit of a reroute recently. We finally found a consistent strat for one of the most RNG intense missions, reversals, which if done correctly, which I'm not demonstrating right here. There's one.
There you go. Nice go behind.
Nice. We get two. Nope, that was A. So what we want to do is we want to get 3 perfect reversals. And if done correctly, this saves about 2 minutes. 2 to 3 minutes. Or in
Watch out for
the
that fire, brother.
world in 100%, this will save about 10 to 12 minutes. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get them to grapple. This is going about as well as my practice.
If only the power of today's AI was able to be applied
Exactly.
to this rough gem of video gaming.
Come on.
It looks like you're wrestling a variation, a backyard variation of the legendary Godfather.
Exactly. And he's his name is no joke, giving me a death grip. Come on. Nope. That was
Making you work for the reversal.
Yep. Come on. Nope.
A heated battle here on the poolside terrace, the patio. DJ Phatzo feeling the pressure right now. Death Grip didn't come to play, not to be shown up on a stage of this magnitude. Speedromizer, man.
Jose. So effectively, when you get grappled, you have a 25% chance of guessing correctly, but if you face away from the AI, it eliminates one of the options, giving you a 33.3% chance of guessing correctly, what I have jokingly called Steiner strats. If you know, you know.
Oh, indeed. Steiner math was used extensively during the creation of this game. But Death Grip, again, Death Grip, it could be in danger of taking you right out here. Brutal powerbomb on the concrete, blood staining the slates. Trying to play the numbers game, but sometimes raw savagery can break through the most math-based approaches. Everyone's got a strategic plan based on Steiner math until they get punched in the face or hit with a freestanding sink.
Oh, come on. Is this...
DJ Phatzo.
There we go. Come on. Can we get one more? Oh, missed it.
Oh, God.
Come on. Give me one more.
Going for that flying apple attack, popularized by Colt Cabana. And a guy named Doink the Clown. Misses the drop kick. DJ Phatzo desperate for this reversal. But a strike-based offense from Death Grip may not provide the grapple needed. This is just brutality. Just has him pinned up there against that fern.
Come on.
Right near the IDOS banner, often mispronounced as Idios. And my favorite, Iados.
I've actually never heard those before.
There you go, Shades of Grey by Biohazard. Biohazard's doing 2 reunion shows here in New York, as well as at the world-famous Milwaukee Metal Fest. Biohazard still rule after all these years, but DJ Phatzo may be getting shown up in front of the biggest worldwide audience he's ever faced as a speedrunner. More eyes, more pressure. He got owned. DJ Phatzo was owned.
Another loser.
Unreal. That has never happened. All right, come on. I really want to demonstrate the come on. What is with... They almost never go for that grapple. This is... It's a series of firsts. And of course, the one time I don't go for X. Come on. Come on, get out of stun. Get out of stun. Thank you. It just keeps jumping around. Come on. The jitters are real.
It's all right. The opening round jitters. We're in it for the quickness, but we're in it for the long haul. Schedule-wise, we want to see DJ Phatzo get back in the game here. He may have been matched with the wrong opponent, so to speak. Fate can be a fickle booker, man, or woman, or person.
Unreal.
God damn. Oh, God, right in the fire pit. Phatzo's got to capitalize. Give him your back, Phatzo. Show him your reversal skill.
I just got hit by my own combo. That's...
I would like to point out for anyone in the comments...
Thank you. Ooh. We got it. Thank you. Good Lord, that was atrocious. Now we get into the actual run, and it's funny because we start that mission off because it's the most RNG intense. Now,
for the uninitiated, what is RNG?
Random number generator. So anything that is random is usually determined by a random number generator.
Outstanding. Like the one-sided die in digital form.
Exactly.
4-sided if you're grappling from the front, and 3-sided if you're grappling from the back.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. All right, so now, of course. What is this, the Texas Hoop Step? Come on,
Shout out.
Get up. All right,
Shout out to Murphy's Law.
That's 1, 2. Thank you.
You can't tell I also put together I also put together the soundtrack for the game, so I'm marking out for all this music.
Yeah, absolutely. Backyard Wrestling 1 and 2 had some amazing music.
And if you don't believe me, just ask the creators or the soundtrack people for Tony Hawk and Grand Theft Auto, who went on to license a bunch of the identical artists and tracks. Oh, but we did it first, baby.
Exactly.
Those guys innovated a lot more money, but I still innovated the soundtrack.
Exactly.
You know, Rockstar's made a dollar or two off of Grand Theft Auto. Whoa, 6 and violence, man. And what are you going for here? Just traditional? You're going for the win.
Yep, we're just going for the 1-2 knockout, the stick and move. This mission only requires 3, and then we can back out. This game actually doesn't require that you finish the mission, more or less that you finish the objective. Once we start hitting the western half, which is the mini golf, jumpy burger, and the office, not in that order, of course. It's a lot more complete X missions by doing, or complete X matches by finishing Y.
Awesome.
So like some, it's like don't use grapple, don't use grapple meter escapes, don't use this. The only tricky one we have to take care of is in office, which is the no punches or kicks. So we'll be using a mechanic that we learn about later. So right here, it's grapple arts. So right now we're gonna grab and come on. Of course. Come on. Come on.
Brutal kick to the lower abdominal region there. Nice Irish whip right through the shed. Phatzo coming on strong as the news copter cruises in for a closer look.
And there's...
Hey.
All right, that was easily the best mission so far. So that one just requires that you hit grapple and then just use any of the 4 directions. Irish whip is quicker. All right, so in the normal run, before we did the reroute, this was the first run killer. It's dash attack, so basically requires that you hit your enemy at a high rate of speed using turbo, which takes 33 seconds to fill up.
Gotcha.
However, if we use a little glitch called false start, it actually starts 1 second sooner, so it only takes 32 seconds.
Only 32.
So right there, you see I just hold the direction and I'm not frozen in place.
Interesting.
So now, there's very few glitches that we can accurately perform. There are some instances where AI will just straight up clip out of bounds. They'll reappear, but just for whatever reason, they'll just... Like, in practice, I actually had the AI clip through that camper.
Okay.
All right. So right now, I'm just waiting for that turbo meter to fill up. Come on.
I was never a big Hoobastank fan, but I thought this song really fit the vibe of the game. Just that vibe of being out of control.
Exactly.
Behind the scenes, in the game development, everywhere.
Right here, you see some of the technical frustrations with this game, where the AI will just block a second before. See, like right there, I connected, but it didn't count as the point.
Because, yeah, the block came up a second later.
So it has to be 5 unblocked moves. So there you go. Usually if they're facing away from you, it does a lot better. Or if they're holding a weapon, it's kind of a free point. So like right there again, connect. Come on. Gotta let that turbo build. That's 2.
Beware, Ed Moeller also has his super.
Not anymore, he doesn't. Come on.
The chase is on. Is it randomly feeding you these characters, or are they always these characters in these missions?
The only ones that are set are in the challenge portion, which we only tackle in 100%. So like New Jack, Sandman, Vic Grimes, all of those.
Sick Nick Mondo.
Yep.
Sanjay Dutt, who's now you can see in AEW every week.
Yep.
Think about
Right
that.
there.
Sanjay Dutt is in this video game, and he's also was in like a featured match on AEW on Wednesday night.
So here comes the easiest mission. It demonstrates the weapons that you can pick up. So in this instance, it's a Weed Whacker. There are only a few missions in all of Backyard Wrestling 2 speedrunning that we actually utilize. For example, in the early days of Eastern Title, before the 7-button combo was discovered, we would pick up a pool skimmer and we would just use that to repeatedly hit our opponent. In Jumpy Burger, for the three matches that we would have to win with 90% health, we would use a chair or a table. That's 1, that's 2. That was beautiful.
Yo, we only got to hear like 2 seconds of KRS-One.
Yep.
Shout out to the Blastmaster. It was an honor to have him be in this game.
Absolutely. So now we're off to the trailer park.
I felt it wouldn't be realistic. Why not have a trailer park? You know what I mean?
Yep. In every submission for this game, I have always had the phrase "from backyards to junkyards" and all the destruction in between.
Yes. Just, yeah, it's maximizing what are we? You know, what is this brand? What is this game? What is this concept?
All right, so
Backyard
right
wrestling, but it all can't be a
3.
traditional yard every time. Holy cow. Holy cow. Gaining back some of that time you lost in those opening round jitters, DJ Phatzo. And I hope that everybody watching takes the time, make a donation, support Speedromizer and support the Trevor Project, please. That's the reason for the speed running.
Exactly. So now we're coming up to the mission Guard Breaks, which is another mission that requires the use of turbo. Eastern is a lot of turbo. Western is a lot of match utilization. World is praying for a one crash game. And I'll get into more about crashes in the Western half of this. So right now, we're going to wait for our turbo to build up. So right there, I false start glitch again, get that extra second. And now we're going to wait.
Build that 32 seconds, right, of anticipation?
32 seconds of turbo, and then we're just going to pray that they block. Which during this game could be very, they could either block every shot, could be in the next 10 seconds, could be in the next 2 minutes.
Look out!
All right, so now pick them. Come on, get off me, thank you. Perfect. That went considerably faster. I spent 5 minutes in practice last night on that one mission. So
wow,
that was beautiful. All right, so
the
ground
energy
attacks
is starting to flow. I'm feeling the speed.
Ground attacks is going to be similar to punch kick combo in Backyard, but with an extra. So effectively, we're going to knock our AI out of the ground and then hit them, and we have to do this 5 times. This game really provides its own tutorial. Eastern is the introduction. Western starts to ramp up in difficulty, and then Northern and World just ramp it up to a whole nother degree. All right, so I'm going to try out a new strat on the fly.
New strategy being developed in real time here. And what better place to do it? The worldwide platform. NASA TV, the homies at Speedromizer.
Okay, so that strat, not the best. So we're just going to go with the standard
Mesh him up.
Yep.
Flatten his face. Crush his head.
Beautiful.
And we out.
We're just beating up on a couple of local jobbers and then bouncing out to the next one. All right, attack counters. This one, another one, wait 32 seconds, build your turbo, wait for your AI to hit you, and then you can slam both triggers or R1 and L1 on PS2 and counter the attack. For some reason, this also works if they're jumping off a platform. So...
very interesting. We're getting insight into the, like, reverse engineering the game code here in real time.
Oh, yeah.
One of the greatest song titles ever. I got punched in the face for sticking my nose in other people's business.
Yeah, speaking of reverse engineering, there is a development build of this game that leaked, I don't know how long ago. I picked it up a couple of years ago, or like last year, I believe.
Coming down.
That I still have yet to comb through.
Yeah, I wish I had. There were so many obviously builds of this game. I would get builds constantly, and I have so much stuff and so much media and everything from these times. But what's weird going through is like I barely been able to find like one build, and I thought for sure I had the build with Jeff Hardy in it because Jeff Hardy was like a big part of the game, both in story mode and just as a featured like marquee character. You know,
because this was around the time he was an independent, or he was like released from WWE.
He was just a free agent chilling in Cameron, North Carolina.
Yep. So
Setting
right
me
here
up on the phone for hours.
Yep, right here, you're going to see the one actual non-turbo use of false start glitch. Assuming I can pull it off correctly, we're going to false start glitch onto the picnic table and then jump off it and get our free point.
Let's see it go down.
Come on.
The best laid plans of mice and men.
Oh, no.
Look out.
Nope, now we have to do the backup strat.
Yeah, sick of it all, baby.
Oh, shit.
Queens, New York's finest.
That has never happened. Twice in a row.
Oh.
Come on. 3?
Triple threat, AI not cooperating.
4.
Oh, shit.
Come on. It's usually just like a one and done.
Right.
And then blocked. I don't know how you can block a jump.
Oh.
5.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Some of the heat-seeking weapons technology should be applied to your leg drop. Boom.
Funny enough, in Backyard Wrestling 1, for whatever reason, whenever the opponent throws something, you could be 3 football fields away and it will find your target every single time.
Right, running in a circle, a football field away, and it just comes in a straight line at
Just
you.
like right for your dome. I actually don't speedrun Backyard Wrestling 1, mainly because just some of the mechanics are a touch broken even for my taste.
Sure.
I always made the joke that if Backyard Wrestling had Backyard Wrestling 1's graphics with 2's engine, it would have been a perfect game. Not to say that it's not a perfect game.
Well, I mean, it's definitely not a perfect game.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you know what I mean? There's so many things you learn through these processes, and some of it can be very difficult to manage when people represent they can deliver like A, but they deliver B or C, or in some cases A plus. Like, so it's like a weird, like it would progress, the development would progress, like you'd see stuff come together, like roughly, you'd be like, yo, this is starting to come together, and then it would kind of just stay, it wouldn't get much more refined. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Not to say that Backyard Wrestling 1 is a bad speed game. It's a very technical one. It's kind of on the same level as Punch-Out, where you have a bunch of different systems that it's like, okay, if X situation happens and Y is this, then you need to do A, B, and C so that you can get Z.
Sure.
All right, so now this is not super moves. It's either grapple meter escapes or it's something with turbo. I know that much. I've been so busy with getting Speedromizer ready. I only got like a couple. Okay, so it's ledge throws, which is even quicker. So we're just gonna pick up, over.
Yep, right in
speaking
the
of
pool.
field goals,
Boom.
pick our first field goal, touchdown. I don't know how football works.
Goal.
Come on. And we're gonna maneuver over some more. There we go. And then ledge throws and
Right back in the pool, baby. We out.
beautiful. So now comes grapple meter escapes, which I touched on very briefly at the beginning of this run. So essentially, to counter grapples, there's 2 ways of doing it. There's the 33.3% chance, or 25% if you really want to risk that Irish whip, or a third of your turbo will just instantly do it for you. We need to do this 3 times. Ideally, this mission would take less than 100 seconds, but we'll see what we get.
Amen.
All right, come on.
Grapple escapes.
No. And if you're wondering why I'm spinning around in circles, it does nothing, but, you know, it's when the AI kind of does what it's going to do, you kind of have...
You want to draw it in, so to speak. You want to stimulate the AI.
I always
make
say
sure
spin to win. All right, so
Yeah.
now... Okay, that's not good. Thank you.
Yo.
Come on. Grapple. Thank you. That's one. Now we're just gonna let it idle. Now more spinning.
Coming down.
Yo.
That's fine. Come on. That's two.
With the smoothness. God damn.
A little bit more.
One more.
Nope. Come on. I have to
DJ
watch.
Phatzo dumped on his head.
I have to really watch my mashing because I think when I'm mashing it, if I... Thank you. That was almost perfect. So, but now comes the more fast-paced missions of the event, or of the run. So it's win streak. So there's 3 win streaks in the game. Eastern title has 5, Western has 5, and then Northern has 10. There's 4 divisions. Yeah.
I was going to say, is a win streak like in the traditional sense, like you have to win a series of matches?
Correct.
Against random opponents.
Yep, you don't have to win them all in the same health bar, though the challenge missions do have that, where you have to beat 2 enemies on the same health bar. And now we're gonna channel our inner Mortal Kombat, and we're just gonna do this combo called the 7-button combo, which does 1050.
Rain and Doom.
You can tell us here in the Backyard Wrestling speedrunning community, we are very creative with our names. I say we, but it's really just me. But,
Plus, yeah, just coming up with this, like these hacks, so to speak, and just through sheer gameplay and like, you know, harsh gameplay, so to speak, you can reverse engineer and figure out these techniques and tactics through shortcuts of design or just the way systems were set up.
Correct. And in 5 years of speedrunning Backyard Wrestling, I've only lost one of my world records, and that was for Eastern title. But for Western World, and especially 100%, never lost a record.
Would you ever seek to reclaim your Eastern title?
Oh, I already reclaimed it and took it about 20 minutes lower.
Oh, I mean, stuff, damn.
Yeah. I think I lost that record for maybe a week, and then got it back.
You made it right with the universe in a short time.
Yeah, never lost the world title, never lost the undisputed. You know, I say undisputed, but I hold every major world record for this game, going on 5 years now. So, Roman Reigns, where you at? I'm right here.
We have a world champion speedrunner running through Backyard Wrestling. It's DJ Phatzo. This is your boy KG Kevin Gill, the OG, if you will. And we're doing this all for a great cause, the Trevor Project. Knocking out intolerance, knocking out stupidity and hatred. So it's an honor to be here today to help support that cause.
All right.
And for those who are looking how to donate, remember it is speedromizer.live/donate.
Shout it out, write it down. Even if you got $1, take your Starbucks money. Take your pre-roll money, a single pre-roll. Take that amount and send it over to the Trevor Project.
Exactly.
That's if, you know what I'm saying? But on the flip side, you could take whatever you got. They could use it, and it's for a really good cause. Spread the word. If you can't, throw a quarter or $1 in the pot. Spread the word, share the stream, share what's going on, and that's a great way to contribute and keep it moving forward.
The one thing I didn't mention is, you know, obviously your standard fighting game has perfect. In this game, as you saw during the reversal section of this game, there's own. For every owned that I get, so a perfect fight, no damage, I will be donating $1.
Awesome.
And I think when I last did this at Speedy Fist, I think I got up to 32 perfects. So
Damn.
let's see if we can keep that trend going.
Keep it going, meet it or exceed it, and maybe some generous souls out there will match it. Why not throw $1 in for every perfect?
Exactly.
We can tally it up at the end of the speed run.
And our goal is $3,000. So let's help meet that.
Indeed. Oh man, you probably don't know about the band Hazen Street, do you?
No, I don't.
Oh man, it's like a super group of people from other bands like Madball and H2O and Promags and Newfound Glory, believe it or not. Man, what a band, what a match, what a knockout. Check out Hazen Street if you can. They only have one record and it's The Bomb.
Exactly.
In that, they only did the one album because they're all in these other bands, but in that time they were featured in Backyard Wrestling, they were featured on WWE TV, they toured with all these great bands, and even to this day they still do reunion shows.
They say you picked a solid lineup for both games, I have to say.
Yeah, it's a mix of like my favorite stuff that I knew would be perfect for the game and stuff that's from bands that like, hey, I don't listen to this band, but I recognize that they're awesome and they fit the feeling or the vibe. You know what I mean? A lot of people won't see past their own personal filter, but I like to mix it all up because, as Mike Muir always said, just because you don't like it don't mean it ain't no good. And stuff like that. Like, I was never a big Fall Out Boy fan, and they went on to be a really huge band. But when they sent me that CD and I put it on, that song grabbed me. I was like, yo, this song feels real, and this song feels like it has the spirit and the energy of this. And they're a cool band out doing their thing. You know what I mean? So that was kind of the criteria. There was, of course, some great bands that wouldn't agree to do it or wouldn't respond. But the ones that did, it's like, holy cow, you know? Like, Gorilla Biscuits had never had a song in a game ever. And they weren't really set up to even license their music. And they got set up so that they could license that song to us. And then Grand Theft Auto just licensed the exact same song like a year or two later. Since we had already set it up.
So now we're entering the title tournament, which is kind of the in Eastern and Western. Your runs will stop at the very end of these tournaments. World ends on beating the Insane Clown Posse.
ICP. So, that whole thing was a cool, just the way that whole thing came together and stuff. Those guys were very interested from the jump, and they were down to really do anything to do with the game, to promote the game, etc. So it's because of them that I really got they made me a referee in the pro wrestling world for real. Like I got to ref for like Roddy Piper and Kevin Nash and Sean Waltman, and I can name hundreds of wrestlers that I refereed for because those guys gave me that opportunity. And then that led to me, they were the first people to really give me a big platform to do wrestling commentary. So it was my work there that led to me getting to do everything else. So I always remember that, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, I loved your work at JCW in the Gathering.
Oh man, yeah, that was like a real wild, like when we finally got it to like do the commentary over the PA, that was like those guys, some of the guys didn't want to do that. And I was like, for this crowd, it's so much better if the commentary's over the PA, you know what I mean? Because it's like an open air festival. It's the middle of the night. People are sitting on blankets and, you know, just chilling, sitting on chairs, standing around. Like, there's also people super into it, you know what I mean? But it's the idea that you need that kind of, and there's pauses between the matches. Like, you kind of need that. And a lot of people are on drinking or on whatever substances. Shout out to Mers. But you know what I mean? Like, so once we finally broke that barrier and started doing the commentary over the PA, which was a hard sell for them, but now they still do it to this day. So it just goes to show a lot of people hate on over the PA commentary, but for certain energy events, there's a great company in San Jose, California called the Underground Wrestling Alliance, who I've been working with for like the last 5 or more years. And they only do over the PA commentary, and it sounds like $1 million. It adds to the experience, and it has a really unique product. It's just really cool. But shout out to Ugwa.
All right, there's the first owned.
Sorry to derail you with my wrestling hybrid talk here.
I love this.
Yeah, the one thing that was funny, unless if I'm not stepping on you here, feel free to interrupt at any time. But the one thing that was funny when we first signed ICP to do the game, like I dealt with them personally to do the contracts and everything. And, we told them and their manager, like, just keep this stuff under wraps. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to announce it in a big way. It's going to be in magazines and everywhere, but like, don't announce it until we announce it. You know what I mean? And they're like, no problem. And then like a few days later, I go on their website, and this is back in the era where you would like do a big write-up and post it. Like you would just write a long story, so to speak, instead of like
a blog, yeah.
Yeah, instead of going live or whatever. And it was just the whole thing of Violent J being like, oh, I just cashed this video game check and I bought this new truck and we're in this backyard wrestling video game and it's going to be me and this person and this person and this person. And it's like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, oh, like we didn't think you'd mind if we just told it to our fans or whatever. Like, dude, this is like a major video game. You know what I mean? Like if we didn't get that taken down, it would have leaked and ruined our like announcements. You know what I mean?
That was a perfect fight.
Yes, it was.
Like sub 40 is like an ideal time, and that's own number 2.
Own number 2.
All right, we are in the final match of the tournament for the Eastern Championship. And speaking of ICP, we'll be seeing them for about half a second before we skip the cutscene and head on to mini golf.
The cutscenes that I wrote and produced, every line of dialogue, and I had to record all like the scratch vocals for all the cutscenes to then for them to be animated to my scratch vocal before we had the actual people in place. And then ironically, when Sandman didn't show up to our event and voiceover taping, I did Sandman's voice in the game. And who else? I did Sabu's voice also I did in the game.
Who did Vampiro?
I did Vampiro, I think, too. Because, I am Vampiro. Like, I don't know why he wasn't there.
Yeah, I was wondering, I'm going through this, I'm like, that is not Vampiro. Like,
yeah. Like, and keep in mind, I didn't go into it being like, I'm a professional Vampiro impersonator. It's more like, we're scheduled to do this voiceover recording. He just has a couple of lines, and there's no one, like, you know what I mean? Like, the clock's ticking, you know what I mean?
That was own number 3, and then there was Violent J for about half a second.
And doing Sandman is just like, yeah! Just that drunken...
Yep. All right, so now we enter what I reluctantly call crash territory. So in Eastern title, unless you're playing on PlayStation, you cannot get a game crash. It's almost impossible. Well, it's basically impossible.
Okay.
Western, you can get it's 50-50. You can get a crash, but you can also get crash. World title, you're guaranteed at least 1. In 100%, you're guaranteed at least 2. So now I'm going to...
And does a crash cause you to have to then full reboot and everything while the clock is ticking?
What we do is we basically hit the eject button on the Xbox, and then we close it real quick.
Okay.
Though somebody did bring up a very good point recently. It's like, well, why don't you just pause the timer? So if that does happen, I will... it's about a 15-second deduction from the overall timer. If the game does crash, whoever's on the timer, don't pause it, I'll subtract it from the final total at the end.
There you have it. 15-second allowance, which is a hell of a fast restart.
Yep. Okay. So now.
This was my idea, to have the golf course with the buildings and that Godzilla-style cutscene or whatever.
Yep.
That's like some of my favorite shit in the game. Favorite stuff in the game, you know.
Yeah. So old strats, like for some of the missions, what we'd actually do is we'd Irish whip our opponent into the elephant and use the trunk, because you could use you could hit so much faster with it. And now with the 7-button combo, we just you know, come on, 6 more. The tricky part is, I don't know why that didn't count. Come on, thank you. Going for the risky stuff. There it is. Beautiful.
Keeping it moving here.
So now,
DJ Phatzo and OG Kevin Gill, the guilty party who had the original concept behind the Backyard Wrestling video game series. And as I alluded to, whatever, I licensed all the wrestlers, licensed all the music, did the high-level design of the game, was very involved day to day in the development and the mechanics as much as I could possibly be, and then also did the branding, brand and marketing for the game worldwide, plus the soundtracks. The Dropkick Murphys, hello.
all right, so this one, I don't remember how I found it, but essentially you just want them to hit you and then you grapple and it's easy. So pick it up. Come on, hit me. There we go. There's 3. Spin them around in circles. That's not what I wanted. Come on. See, when they don't want you, when you want them to grapple you, they don't. But when you don't, they do. It's
AI, baby. It's getting smarter by the second. Every time you do a speed run, it's learning more and more about you and how you play.
Yep. There's 4. Now we're just gonna waste both our turbos.
It's ironic that windmill. There was a cutscene in the game that was written for Jeff Hardy to do a swanton bomb off that windmill. I forget who we changed it to. I don't know if New Jack did it or someone else did it. We changed the move probably.
Yeah,
but
I'm not. I should look into that. See if it's. See, with the dev build that I have, you can't go too far because a lot of the missions, especially in pool, just don't work. And unfortunately, they're the missions that are required. You're required to beat all 5 missions before you can unlock the tournament to gain access to the next part of the game.
Gotcha.
But it's the dev build, so it's not the full thing. Super moves you can't do. Reversals, stops after the second counter. There we go. Okay. So this one, you're required to get win 5 matches by getting the first hit. So now, another strat you can do is get him into the volcano and then just 7-button combo all over.
I gotta say, the art and the design on this level is really cool.
It really is. All right, I'm gonna see if I can do what's called combo stack. I can't. Okay.
I forget if he worked on Backyard 1 or 2 or both, but Corey, who worked on these games, is like the head of creative, been the head of creative on God of War.
Interesting.
More world.
It really is. All right, so there's the first point.
Who's next?
Who's next, baby? That's the question. Phatzo, running through the opponents. Who will the next opponent be? It could be any of these questionably developer-created original characters.
There's only, they're all random, but there's only one that's actually required, and I think it's the next mission, the infamous horn dog hunt, which could either rate It'd either be great or it could just waste a bunch of time because we're required to beat the masked horn dog.
The masked
3
horn dog.
times.
Well, I have some incredible masked horn dog stories I can tell during that time. Stories that will shock and amaze you. Masked Horn Dog is not a professional wrestler. Like, Masked Horn Dog is like a cameraman and a video editor.
Interesting.
And that leads to some stuff that I'll tell you about. Nice work.
There we go.
Fiberglass dinosaur destroyed.
I'm going to win it all.
All right, on to match number 3.
And this one's the Horn Dog hunt?
Nope, it's 5 matches so that we have to get with the first hit. So that was the second one. Now we have 3 more to win, but we have to get the first attack in each one of them.
Wow.
So
You could possibly have to do a match twice if you don't
Correct.
get the first hit.
Yep. Though in that instance, if we do get hit, it's still faster just to back out and re-enter. Because
Gotcha.
One of the mechanics, which is especially nice in World Title and 100%, if I were to quit out of this game right now, you see at the bottom, my first attack, it's 2 out of 5. If I exit out of this, switch to another mission, complete that mission, come back, the counter will still be at 2 out of 5. This is especially helpful in attack challenges, where you have to get block 50 attacks consecutively.
Good God.
And this AI is atrocious when it comes to that. So the strat for that is, we either try to get them to pick up a weapon and hit us, or we block until they decide to go for a grapple, in which case we back out and re-enter.
I'm going to win it
My
all.
condolences to the QA team.
Oh boy, I cannot imagine. You know, Junkyard is second only to Construction Site in terms of difficulty. In the northern part, Construction Site lags a considerable amount, especially if you go through that little trap door at the bottom. Junkyard is notorious only for a lot of its missions, especially like there's one that's like don't use your super, don't use your super, block 50 attacks consecutively, and then there's the final win streak, which is win 10 matches. There we go. This is going smoothly. We're gonna give a foot high 5. Did I just get hit with my own combo? Excuse me?
It happens.
So I gotta know, were all of the random opponents in the story mode given random character move sets, or were they given completely custom move sets?
To be honest, that was just a completely a developer project. Like they like pushed endlessly that they had to make all these other characters that from my perspective we didn't want or need, and add nothing to the game when we could further polish the characters and stuff that we have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I felt, no knock to them, they're a talented bunch of people, passionate people, all that, but I felt like it was the classic scenario of what a game developer employee thinks is relevant to a consumer experience, and it's not always lined up. You know what I mean? They saw the actual characters in the game, you know, as whatever, and they felt their characters were better, but it's like they're not defined in any way. They're not even social types. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even like where you make like, oh, we're gonna have a punk rocker and a this and a that and a whatever, every lifestyle, but you make a really good character. You know what I mean? To me, they feel very, very awkward and like someone just throwing them together in a character editor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right.
But
So now comes,
that's just my
knockdowns.
perspective.
Yeah. Now comes knockdown. So essentially 20 times we have to knock our opponent down. This is very similar to the grapple arts in Backyard, where we're going to Irish whip our opponent to a wall and hope they don't counter.
Let's hope for the best.
Yep. Optimally, this would be a one cycle. This would be a one cycle mission, but again, it's a marathon, so we're gonna Irish whip. That's 1. 3.
One more time to throw him right into that fire pit. Volcano, though, didn't fully catch fire.
We
The
don't
blood
want him
and
to
the
catch
sweat,
fire. Yeah.
perhaps even the tears of quote-unquote private pain. Which is then, okay, if you're going to name the character Private Pain, doesn't that almost connotate some sort of military garb to go with the tortured soul?
Somebody must have been watching the, what was that NBC special? Secrets of Wrestling.
Right? Is that what that character's name actually was?
Yeah, it was one of the characters, Private Pain.
Well, if that's that character's name, I then give them credit for doing that. But I would have rather have seen that character. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Alright. So 13, that's not terrible.
Like, this character is a cool looking character. It's just the name Private Pain doesn't apply. No redeeming social value. Queen's finest hardcore. Yeah, we were the first video game really to have thrash metal, hardcore, punk rock from the roots, you know, from the early days to the contemporary, and to kind of give people who are maybe never exposed to this kind of music a really credible and authentic dose of music that's really powerful. And with some mainstream artists like Sum 41 and people like that sprinkled on top to help draw people in, you know?
Yeah. That was a 1 cycle, by the way.
Wow.
That was perfect. Aside from the grapple, can we get Horn Dog? Yep. Okay. So awesome. So now we're on the Horn Dog hunt. Now we just got to find this guy 2 more times, and it's GG.
But he might not come up 3 times in a row.
Correct. Obviously, it's more optimal if he does. I think in my first ever Western title run, I think he did appear 3 times consecutively. If he doesn't appear, we're just gonna back out of the mission, and then we're just
until he does.
Yeah.
Okay. So is now a good time to tell Horn Dog stories, or just distract you from your goal?
Do we have any donations first off before we jump into stories?
Yes, actually, we do have a donation. Thank you, DJ.
Awesome.
We have a donation from Vaughn Ryder, donating $35, saying 35 towards Sonic 1 Tails, No Emeralds, Bid War. Hey, Z,
yeah.
Make us proud. Good luck to all the runners, stay safe, and have a good day, everyone. And they donated the poll for the Sonic Origins. Choose category Sonic 1, Tails, No Emeralds, and they bid $1 more than all Emeralds, which is sitting at $34. So you have until the end of this run to get in your donations to determine whether or not it's all Emeralds or no Emeralds. And all Emeralds is at 34, no Emeralds is at 35. All you need is $1 or $2, and you can determine what category the runner runs.
There you have it. Let's get those donations in now. This backyard segment is where we want to see some activity from everybody out there enjoying this.
Exactly. Get your donations in for the greatest game in professional speedrunning.
Indeed. Where else are you going to have
that donation? And that donation link again is speedromizer.live/donate. Speedromizer.live/donate.
All right, so that was 2. Can we get the legendary 3rd? Legendary 3, come on. Let's go, dude.
It's on like Donkey Kong.
Okay. Let's go. Come on.
Mass Horn Dog getting clobbered here. Very similar to things I've seen happen in real life. The Mass Horn Dog was a cameraman, and they just used him for skits and stuff in the Backyard Wrestling content universe, which was like its own pay-per-view series and VHS and DVD series and all this that sold like millions of copies. So we wanted to, keep the brand included and include him in it. but he's not a trained wrestler in any way. And he would, like, in his mind, he had to be like belligerently drunk. Nice work. To be his character.
Who's next?
Somehow, like, he needed to be drunk to do the character, which is a dude standing around being dumb. And he would get really dumb, and he would try to push some of the wrestlers' buttons. And one day, I watched him over and over again pick a fight with New Jack. Pick a fight with New Jack. If you people watching don't know, New Jack, rest in peace. Former bounty hunter, one of the most extreme professional wrestlers of all time, a badass man, like in every sense of the word. Someone you would never, in real life, no one within the sound of my voice would ever step to this guy for any reason. Do you know what I mean? And this drunk idiot kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And New Jack kept asking for him to stop or whatever. And then basically New Jack put a stop to it with his fists. Something I still think about to this day. Like, why in God's name would you do that?
Out of all the names, like, ooh.
I know from being around wrestling for a long time, I could also tell anyone within the sound of my voice, don't ever fight a wrestler. Don't do it. Just get out of there.
I'm going to win it all.
It's crazy, man. And then we had we had a press event, and we agreed that Masked Corn Dog could be there because we wanted to have pictures and everything, but he couldn't interact with New Jack. And New Jack agreed, like, yo, as long as this guy doesn't talk to me or come near me, there's not going to be any problems. You know what I mean? So then after a while, like about a half an hour after the open bar starts, guess who walks up to New Jack and starts making inappropriate comments? A Masked Horn Dog. So I 86'd him. I removed him from the event for his own safety, and that was the end of the Masked Horn Dog. As far as me flying him places and including him in events, because this is not the second time. You're the only person that's getting into fights with the wrestlers. You know what I mean?
Who's next?
All right, so that was Time Attack. So that was beat two opponents within a minute 30 of each other. By the way, that was also perfect number 5.
Yes. Although New Jack did beat up one other person during the development of the video game.
All right, so now we get into the Sands missions.
Wow.
So this is I believe it's either Sans grapple meter escapes or it's dash attacks. Which dash attacks, blocking, and GME we don't extensively use in the run, so it's just kind of a beat up or beat two opponent. Yeah, so it's 2 dash attacks. So we don't use dash attacks ever outside of one particular mission.
Nice. This is a little homage to Shane McMahon and Kurt Angle. I think it was a Survivor Series back in the day where they did these belly-to-belly suplexes through these giant glass panes. And that was a dynamic and a moment I wanted included in the game in a big way. So it's kind of here in a smaller way, but it's still here.
Yeah, that was either Survivor Series or SummerSlam.
Yeah, one of the two. Yeah, I know there was like S's on the logo behind them.
Yeah.
But that was crazy. The glass didn't break. Some of the glass broke and some of the glass didn't at first, and it's sometimes worse when it doesn't break.
Yeah,
it's actually almost always worse when it doesn't break.
Oh yeah, I actually recently got Peacock, so I've been going back and watching the last 30 years of wrestling.
Oh wow, good for you.
Yeah, so I'm right at the it's right when Stone Cold Steve Austin takes over the WWF after Linda and Stephanie sell or give him their shares of the company.
Okay.
So right around 99,
Okay. So you're headed into the decline now. Or almost, right? It's the Austin heel turn, I guess, at the Mania you're building to, I think, is the start of the decline.
Nope, that was 2000. This is still 99.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this is still... I'm honestly debating if I want to go back and watch, like, the early days of Nitro.
I mean, there's some great stuff in there.
I need a real challenge.
True, but a lot of it has been covered to death in wrestling top 10s, dirt sheets, etc.
Sure. But not in its entirety, meaning, whatever, of course, if it's Rey Mysterio versus Juventud or whatever, then yeah, everyone knows about it. But there's going to be some uncut gems in there that you're going to see that you're going to be like, how is no one talking about this? This match tore the house down. But also you're going to see some stuff that you're like, who the hell booked this?
I mean, I know who booked it. I don't know the year.
Right? Do you ever watch Mid-Atlantic stuff?
I have not.
Oh,
I got
man.
into wrestling right around 2009. So I have a lot of the big events, like I started right around 1998, like the last years of Owen Hart, rest in peace.
Sure.
Owen. I had seen like a lot of earlier stuff of like the big events, obviously, like the Invasion, the whole Stone Cold versus Vince McMahon, and a bunch of like the other smaller stuff. But now I'm finally seeing that for myself. So I'm planning to watch from 1998. That's 6. 1998 to about 2008.
Okay.
Just because my first actual show that I watched was an episode. It was like the first SmackDown of 2009.
Okay.
And I still remember it was Vicky Guerrero and Triple H in the ring. And it was when he went through like the whole like 3 gauntlet whatever deal.
Sure.
That was my introduction to wrestling.
Wow.
Or my proper introduction to like the product. I had watched a lot of I watched a few like JCW things from back in the day.
Sure.
But that's it.
Well, if I was you, I would go back and watch ECW.
That's also next on my list.
Even if you started in 95, you could start in 95. You should start in 95, and it'll blow your mind.
True. Honestly, what I'd like to do is I'd like to like construct a list of every episode from like prime time. So like, WWF and then WCW, and then just watch it all in order, in like the order that it appeared on TV.
Right.
But that's easily several hundred
or 1,000 hours.
Yep.
Several. That's why ECW is more compartmentalized. You know what I mean? You have the hour weekly episodes, and you have the pay-per-views. You know what I mean? But you get into TV later. But at first, the 1 hour show, man. Oh my God, that show is insane.
So now we're getting into one of the more technical Sans missions, which is no punch kick. The way we get around this is we use a environmental ability, which we're just gonna come on.
And I appreciate you putting italics around that word. That was a word I made up for to put on the back of the box with the little trademark copy on it.
Yep.
Right, so now... Like we have to call this engine something. But those are true stories from game development.
Now we're just going to use the stapler.
Live for it. These moments, that's like those little moments are the glimpses of the genius potential of backyard wrestling.
Come on, get up. So this is a mission that really requires you to use your environment rather than your fists.
Sure.
That's exactly what I wanted you to do. Come on, nope.
You played into DJ Phatzo's hands live on Speedromizer. Get those donations in Speedromizer.live/donate. Use that expensive office chair. Use the chair. Use every form of chair, every weapon.
There we go.
Nice work. The Rob Van Dam, the Van Terminator. Or the Van Daminator.
Yep, that's... Come on. Probably 3 more of those, and then we just do this one more time. This is something else. Come on.
Shout out to Kitty. Kitty just played that huge festival in Las Vegas last weekend. I forget what it was called, but like that super emo fest or whatever. Kitty kick ass.
I'm going to win it all.
Sing it, Morgan.
And yeah, if any of you out there are interested in running this game, or even just playing it casually, it's definitely one worth checking out. You can get it in a bargain bin for like a couple of bucks, or just you know, emulate the PS2 copy if you're short on a few bucks. Though, for the authenticity, you definitely want to get you an original copy.
You have, of course, an original copy.
I've had the same copy of this game that was bought from a video store that no longer exists in Minnesota for the last 9 years.
That's wild.
Yep. And so I picked this game up in 2017 because I was just getting into speedrunning, and I wanted a game that I could definitively call my own.
Yeah.
And this is a game that a number of people said could not be run, whether it be because it's effectively just a fighting game or a wrestling game. A lot of people said this game would never make a marathon. It made and got Marathon Live World Records at several. It made an in-person debut at Midwinter Speed Sprinter 2020. Oh, come on!
Yes.
There we go. Andrew.
Shout out to Andrew WK, man. Also, yeah, playable character in the game, a hell of a guy. He was really inspirational to work with, and really believed in the game and the project, and was just honestly one of the most good-natured people that I've ever met.
Absolutely. But yeah, when I say that I have dedicated 5 years of my life to a game that nobody else has run, I genuinely mean that. Every run, every strat, every glitch, every route that has been found or discovered, I have done solo. And,
that's wild. Yeah, Trailblazer.
And I don't know of too many speed games that have done that.
Right, where you have to do the entire. Yeah, there's no one
Yep.
learning in tandem or taking what you did and then applying it. You have to do it all yourself.
Exactly. All right, so now we can actually use our fists and our feet again, which is good. So now,
And yeah, for someone, like you said, whether they have the ROM of it or whatever, or emulator, or they find a copy somewhere, check out the story mode, man. The story mode is a fun way to just get into the whole universe of characters and experience. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And if you ever consider speedrunning this game, which most people have speedrun the Eastern category, which is I think there's 4 or 5 other people that have run the Eastern category. And I think there's one person that's come within 3 minutes of my run.
Wow.
But there's Western title, which shows off the missions like this. There's the Northern category, which really tests your skills. And then there's, of course, the World title. Well, I say World title, but it's really just you fight 5, technically 6 people, and win the World Championship.
Real challenge.
Did they do that in that double cage or that light bulb cage thing?
Yep, the carnival stage. Yep. So
Yeah,
it's,
good.
Joe Peterson, Bad Bad Pondo, Vampiro.
Joe Peterson, I think he won a contest. No, I'm trying to remember how. That's
yeah,
a real person.
it was a contest.
Okay.
It actually even says in the description like Joe Peterson something 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 the contest winner. I never actually looked into that.
Yeah, we did it for both games just because I felt that backyard wrestling is like the spirit of the people, so to speak. It's something organic that people are creating on their own. They're just doing it on their own. It's their outlet and their expression. And I thought, who
Madman
bet?
Pondo, that was the other wrestler I was trying to think of.
Okay.
Madman Pondo is an interesting fight because you effectively do half damage while he does double.
Oh my God.
So you know, instead of like 1050, you do I think 5.5. But
Wow.
his move pool, it has two. He hits you for two, but he'll do like almost a quarter of your health bar in 3 seconds.
Stay away from Pondo, and that's without the stop sign.
Yep.
I'm going to win it all.
And then obviously at the very end of the game, you fight the Insane Clown Posse in a handicap match. So you fight Shaggy first for 3/4 of the fight, and then Jay jumps in.
Damn. Stack the deck against you.
All right, so we are nearing the end of this run. So we are in the final stage. We're in Jumpy Burger.
Good
or
old
the
Jumpy
restaurant
Burger.
Yep, or as the restaurant as the game calls it.
Yeah, in the game, when you play story mode, I'm the news reporter that's covering the scene outside the Jumpy Burger, and I am attacked and stabbed, like real wet, bloody stabbing by New Jack, rendered in CG.
Right.
Shout out to Twisted. Twisted were playable characters in the first Backyard Wrestling, but they contributed music to the second.
Right, so now we have to go for the environmental throw. And whoa, that's interesting. We're gonna grapple, bring over to the fryer, and this is the fastest animation that you can do. It's a 3-second animation. The grill is about a 4 or 5-second animation. Come on.
All about saving that time. Every second counts in speedrunning. Playing the game, but maximizing the moments.
He's not trying to Irish whip. There we go.
DJ Phatzo, multiple world time record holder. Showing what it takes to get through this game in the quickest amount of time possible, achieving all of the feats required.
Exactly.
Just like that, on to the next.
On to the next. Now, Western at the very end starts to get a little tricky. So you have missions like avoid grapples. So it's 3 missions. You cannot get grappled. If you get grappled, it's faster to exit unless you have like a full turbo. Because if you get grappled and win the fight, it doesn't count.
Wow.
So in the old strats that we used to do for this, we would get a table and we just or a table or a chair and we just hit them repeatedly. But you can also do something like this. If I can pull it off here.
Well, Private Payne's repeating. Just not let him get up.
There we go. Okay, so now.
Yeah, see, to me, like all the licensed characters should be in here. You know, not the ones who were in the finale. Do you know what I mean? But there's like 2 or 18 people that could be in some of these spots.
Yep. All of the playable characters that you can, that you see in like the challenge mode actually do take the place of the in-game jobbers in the development version. So, but it does make the game progressively harder, especially if you get somebody, say, along the lines of Madman Pondo, who does retain a bit of his strategies, but doesn't have the whole double damage, half damage thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
But he's still a force to be reckoned with.
Oh, absolutely.
Madman Pondo still wrestles to this day. Just around 20 years after the release of this game.
Oh. Yep. All right. So we're going to back out and exit because we got the grapple. Oh.
Grapple from the jump.
Yep. It happens. It is what it is. Oops. Avoid grapples. Okay.
Avoid those grapples, DJ Phatzo.
Gotta avoid them grapples.
They're not waffles, they're grapples.
Mm-hmm.
and you got to back up off them.
All right, come on, load. So I have an extensive collection of modded consoles. I have a modded PS4 and a modded Xbox 360 that I've actually gotten this game to work on consistently.
Awesome.
So, Xbox 360, this game runs surprisingly smooth. The loading times are almost cut in half.
Oh wow.
So, all right. So here's what I was trying to accomplish earlier. So now it's a permanent stun lock. So
okay.
Can't move, can't block. It's just
unload on them.
Yep. We're it's effectively just
this is like
Mass Horn Dog's possessed.
This is like New Jack versus Mass Horn Dog all over again.
Exactly. All right, so that's 2. I need one more, and then we're golden.
I need a real challenge.
One time, me and New Jack flew together on an airplane, and we were both upgraded to first class somehow. And then, so that was even funnier. And then, of course, New Jack took advantage of the very liberal free alcohol policy in the first class cabin. Ultimately, it led to the. But again, the other guy, the masked horn dog, totally precipitated it. But yes, that drinking did precede the incident. That's what's funny. You think of all these wrestlers, all these fighters, some of whom don't like each other in real life, and there was the only incident in regards to the production of the game was a cameraman twice trying to start fights with wrestlers. Holy cow. I'm taking you behind the curtain, inside baseball.
I love it.
But just to show people the other side of it. Well, go for it. I can tell you this, I won't mention any names, but an employee of a video game developer that's not the developer of the game thought it would be a good idea to run up on New Jack and jump on his back while New Jack was in like a desolate area behind a tractor trailer with no one around him. And what do you think happened next?
I have ideas. None of them I could probably repeat on the stream, but I have ideas.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that's what happened. But you think about stuff like that, and I witnessed this myself. This person ran up on him and like either bear hugged him from behind or jumped up on his back and doesn't know New Jack. And New Jack's again alone in a desolate area behind a tractor trailer.
All right, so now we're in block tests. So now we need to block 30 attacks. Thankfully, not consecutively.
Coming down.
But rest in peace, of course, to the great New Jack.
Rest in peace, indeed.
Trailblazer icon, a badass man in the best way possible.
All right,
oh my God!
What we wanted. Come on, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. Nope.
Oh yeah, just so they could unleash all 30 of those.
Look out!
All right, halfway there. 16. Come on, keep it up, keep it up. That's exactly what we want. Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
You didn't catch what that last song was, did you?
I did not. All right, endurance test. So this is one where you have to win it's basically win with 90% of your health or a perfect. There's only 3 missions in this game that require you to get perfects. 2 technically, 2 that flat out say it, 3 on a technicality.
Okay.
Because 2 of them are in Junkyard, and this is the 3rd one right here. Come on, there we go.
Shout out to Rob Dyer. Rob Dyer was the president of IDOS Interactive when I came into his office and told him, that we should make a backyard wrestling video game, and surprisingly, he agreed. So without him, none of this was possible either. So shout out to you, Rob Dyer, Bobby Digital, as I used to call him in the most endearing way. He was the man. Is the man.
Now, do you still have any connections with the games industry?
Yeah, like I've been the more I've gotten further and further into wrestling. I used to still do like occasional. I did a lot of work after I worked at IDOS, but then I started just doing wrestling all the time with like occasional, like a video game event based stuff. Yeah. Doing like production and like overseeing press events and things like that. But I haven't been like, it's something I've thought a lot about, of like, you know what I'm saying, being back under the heading properly. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I get you.
Working on a product specifically.
Because I knew you were in, what was it, Saints Row 4. I know you were. Yep.
And I was a dummy. I was a dummy. I could have gotten so much more work just off that credit and the relationship I had with the studio and the people who make the game. Like, I think just with that reel, I could have done a lot more work, but that's the kind of stuff I almost like need someone to do for me, as pathetic as that sounds, because I'll always be like, oh yeah, I got to work on this reel, but I'll never do it for myself. But if it was for someone else or for a project I was working on, it would be done immediately. You know what I mean? It's just the way I'm wired. But it's a regret of mine but I still do, like, in the sense that between the wrestling commentary and then like voicing over trailers and vignettes and things like that for wrestling stuff, I'm still flexing all the same creative, all the same vocal stuff. It's just not as credit intense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. No, I was just curious because I would personally, as a speedrunner, love to see a Backyard Wrestling 3.
Oh yeah, man. That's the most asked question I get everywhere I go. You know, I have the luxury of getting to go all around doing wrestling shows, and it's the most asked for thing out there. And, you know, there's several people out there doing, you know, their independent development of wrestling games and things like that. But you know how it is. It's like to do it on a real level, to do it on console, whatever. It's an inordinate amount of money, unless you can find someone that has a game being made that could be like, yo, this could just be Backyard Wrestling. You know what I mean?
I get you, yeah. Because it's like back in the day, it was like all, you know, like you had to get your game on a console. Nowadays, you know, a lot of the big games out there, like, you know, just off the top of my head, Deltarune and Undertale.
Right.
All the games are like going independent, and like PC gaming is really starting to come into its own market.
And for PC game publishers, you know what I mean? They don't have to kick a giant royalty back to, so to speak, the PC platform the way you have to do with Sony and Microsoft. So it's more profitable for the publishers, which trickles down, and more than trickles down to the developers. You know. You
know, granted, you still have, you know, Epic Games, Steam, GOG,
of course,
and a couple of others. But you know, if you choose to like release it on your own.
Right. Yeah, I would love to do something like I would obviously I would need a super team. I talked with some people recently who I can't say what they're working on, but it's something in the space that they're looking at getting funding for in the near future that could lead to something. I would say like something adjacent to the Backyard Wrestling game, but almost still under the same spirit and auspices, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I know I had heard like a few times in interviews that you had mentioned you'd like to do a third one.
Oh man,
yeah.
I'd love to do a third one. I'd love to do a fourth one. I'd love to work on a current gen or current whatever wrestling
HD game remaster of 1 and 2.
Any and all of the above, man.
Exactly. You know, I'll definitely keep my eye open, because this is the game that helped co-found Speedromizer in a way.
which is amazing.
Yeah, it was this and Grabbed by the Ghoulies. That's 8 perfects for those of you in chat keeping score.
3 of 5 complete. Damn, so you can't take a single blow.
Oh no, that mission is passed. We're in the win streak. We're in the home stretch now. We have we have 6 or 7 more matches left. Because we have 6 matches. No, it's 5. 5 matches left.
Who's next?
And then we are nearing the end of Western title.
Just listening to that sweet DRI play out. I like how the song stays the same in these the win streak stages.
Yeah, that really is great.
Like it just stays playing.
Come on, there we go.
Killing it. Shot after shot after shot, unresponded to.
Could this be number 9?
Let's see.
So right there is a little trick I like to call combo stack. So your normal 7-button combo does 1050, but then if you guard break for whatever reason, it still keeps that. If you guard break, stomp on your opponent and then do another 7-button combo, it stacks, so you end up doing double damage.
Damn. It's got to help with the time. Double damage half the time.
Now we're nearing the title tournament, so now
there was me.
4 more matches left. For those of you that have seen the brackets, place your bets on who we're facing in the final. My money is on Horn Dog.
You think so?
Yeah, that's my vote. I don't think I've once gotten the masked Horn Dog in the finals of a title tournament, but you know.
But could it be almost anyone, so to speak, or a lot of the licensed characters left out?
Oh no, in terms of licensed characters or playable characters, he's the only one that pops up.
Okay.
The same is true in Northern title with one of the other characters. I can't remember which one, but it was one of the characters that was placed into the placed in kind of to fill space.
Sure.
Let's see if I can get another combo stack. Oh.
You may have missed the stack, but they still have some time to donate to switch which category that Sonic Origins is going to be in. All Emeralds is sitting at $34, and at no Emeralds is sitting at $35. So all they need is $1 or $2, and they can switch it back to All Emeralds for Sonic 1. And that's the next run coming up by Z.
Get your donations in, everybody.
Speedromizer.live/donate.
That is the link to hit. Speedromizer.live/donate. DJ Phatzo moving on through the ranks of jabroni after jabroni after jabroni after jabroni. And we'll see where it takes him. A world champion of backyard wrestling speedrunning with one of the original creators of the game series. That's me, your boy KG Kevin Gill. As heard everywhere, there's pro wrestling, and as part of Circle Six's outstanding new Deathmatch Series 7, which is launching so soon. Go out of your way to see Matthew Justice versus the Bev, Bobby Beverly Deathmatch. Here we go, back inside the Jumpy Burger.
What the? Oh, okay, I was gonna say, did he clip out of bounds?
Thankfully, the top of his torso just temporarily disappeared into the wall. Pay no attention. It's like Luke Gallows' beard in the new WWE 2K, which is an amazing game.
It really is.
Yeah, I've been playing the hell out of it. I love it. I love the depth. Like, the depth is crazy to me. Like, It's almost too much depth, I would imagine, for 80% of the audience. But for us weirdos who want to go all the way, man, they give it to you. Hats off to 2K.
That was number 9.
I need a real challenge.
Another thing to look at historically, if you look at the years that Backyard Wrestling 1 and 2 came out, and then look at the soundtracks for the WWE games in the years that follow, and how much music started being a part of their game experience, so to speak, where at the time we did it, it would be like they had 90%, wrestler entrance music, and there might have been a song, licensed for the game. You know what I mean? But it wasn't like the Tony Hawk style experience of like, hey, here's a whole plethora of amazing stuff. Like it is now. You know what I mean? So going for it here, but Mike Murder, the ineffectively named Mike Murder, who appears to be wearing tinfoil coveralls, being battered by what could be a Pepsi machine in a different legal universe. Pepsi, the wildly inferior beverage, percolating in the background while DJ Phatzo gets his grip on and dumps him not once, not twice, flips him around thrice. Third time's the banger, KTFO.
I need a real challenge.
All right, and we are facing in the finale of this Western title tournament. It's not the Masked Horn Dog, unfortunate. Knocked out in the semifinals.
Jobber Jones, number 47.
Yep.
Will their name match their look in any way?
Oh, of course not.
Maybe they made the spreadsheet with the names wasn't matched up correctly.
It's possible.
Maybe you'll see other people that better fit the Every Time I Die. Shout out to them, man. A great contributor to the soundtrack. And if you don't know now, Andy Williams, one of the founders of the band, is one of the featured wrestlers in All Elite Wrestling. I one time got to do commentary on wrestling matches at an Every Time I Die concert. So that's high up on my list of life experiences.
All right, so time's coming up.
Uh-oh. Dimcha Benz. DJ Phatzo going for it here.
All right, get ready on time.
I need a real challenge.
Time.
Whoa.
What was the final time on that? So 1:30. So world record currently stands at about 1:18. Wow, I was 4 seconds over estimate. So 1:30.04. That's not bad.
Not bad at all.
So we are in a bit of a time crunch. KG, thank you so much for tuning in for this run. This was easily one of my favorite runs that I've done across all of my speedrunning career.
Hell yeah.
I guess I could say that.
Thank you for having me be a part of history, man, and to look back on this time in my life and what this game means, and that it still means something to you and to other people out there. That's amazing, man. It's cool to know that art lives forever.
Absolutely.
Violent art as well, just like bloody art and non-bloody art.
All right.
Well, thank you again, DJ and Kevin Gill, for the display of that amazing run. Sad that it wasn't underestimate, but that's how it goes. Up next, we're going to have Z with Sonic Origins, and possibly, depending upon where DJ puts their owed donation, we're going to have either all emeralds or no emeralds Tails run.
All right.
Shout out to the Trevor Project. Give me a follow on social media at OG Kevin Gill.